Welcome to Gemini season, guys. We are going to take a peek at your love life, see how your partner's feeling about you, any important actions you need to take for the month, and overall, I'm just going to cover a couple things as far as major major things going on in astrological, aspects. If you've got some big projects going on, especially if you're seeing this towards the end of anytime in May, before you get to the beginning of June, make sure if you've got some big projects that you're really working on, get things kind of in order and organized. They don't have to be perfect, but there is kind of a wrapping up energy happening that first week in June. So I would recommend, if you have any last minute things that you need to do, just to kind of work on that so that you can be in the best position for that, because apparently whatever it is you're working on has definitely been very important to you and has a pretty big reward for you. So I would definitely check those details. Speaking of checking details, towards the middle of the month, we've got some new things happening. So, I wouldn't make yourself super busy at that particular point where you're just kind of overwhelmed. I would just kind of make sure you're double checking those details and don't overdo it. Okay, you don't want to overdo yourself during that time. Make sure if you need some grounding, you're doing that. And then we've got some nostalgic stuff kind of happening. Deeper rooted conversations taking place around the 18th of the month. But those are times when I would recommend to stay very mature and realistic with those conversations. I wouldn't exaggerate. I wouldn't, sell yourself up in any kind of a way. I would just stay really practical and realistic in that. And then towards the end of the month, we've got a really good opportunity to just kind of take the lead on certain aspects that you've been, these bigger pieces that you've been working towards, bigger goals, things that you've been really trying to get going. There is going to be kind of an oomph in that direction with a major transit, basically. So when we have those major transits, we've got new opportunities coming. So keep that in mind. The major transit is Mars enters Aries. So that does make sense, just because Aries has a lot to do with those things that you've been pondering on and thinking about, putting all that energy into manifesting, and now we've kind of got some of those answers coming too by the end of the month. So if you've been waiting for some bigger answers, I would say some of them should be coming in by the end of the month. If you want to look at your personal situation, please do so. Remember, this is a general reading, guys, so take with this and leave the rest. All right, let's get into it. All right, Sagittarius, our first question is looking at the relationship status at the moment. And let's take a peek and see what that looks like. Alright, relationship currently. Nothing yet is set in stone. Alright, so things are kind of ever changing. It looks like changing in a good direction, and that luck is on your side. So maybe you guys have just been kind of going round and round on a situation or a person and not really sure how you wanted to commit or how you really felt about it on a permanent basis, and it seems as though things, though, are getting more with these two cards here, especially, this one saying maybe everything's kind of a little bit more loosey-goosey. There's nothing really firm about it right now, but it looks like it's going in that direction. Let's just put it that way, okay? Alright, and how are they currently feeling about you? Communication. Healthy boundaries, manifestation. So it seems like they are wanting to make this happen with you, and the only way that's going to work is to communicate, the same thing. What are you wanting to do? What are you willing to do? Which direction are you wanting to go in? Are you wanting to do it with them? And I do see that is an important conversation coming up. Now, listen, if this is you and you're single, this is a huge order, going out to the universe. This is you saying, okay, this is what I'm looking for, and I'm not going to accept, I'm not going to settle for anything less than what I desire. And, to each their own when it comes to expectations, because it has to do with you being realistic, obviously, about the situation, and then also making sure that you're not putting, the order in a position to where it can't be manifested, right, in a rational way. So if you're stuck on every single thing that you possibly want is, is how it has to be, or if you have no room for, hey, maybe something outside of my comfort zone, or something that I didn't know it was going to be there. If you don't have room to let some of that happen, then a person can come into your life that is a little bit different than what you've maybe had in the past. But if it's not exactly the way you've had it in the past, and that's the way you're wanting it, then you can lose an opportunity because you didn't leave room for somebody being a little bit something different. Nothing bad, nothing negative, just different. And so I would still leave room for, the possibilities, is what I'm trying to say. What to expect here. Ancestors and purification. So you might be getting some of those, synchronicities, or some, maybe some advice from older people or people who you confide in, to give you some of that clarification on, how to go about this and how you should feel about that and what they think is best for you. I also see taking a more wise direction on this. So this could be just a direct conversation with the person you're interested in, or direct communication with the universe saying, hey, this is what I'm looking for, bring in what it is I'm meant to receive, and just leave it at that. Have faith the universe will provide. Don't get in your own way, and just be clear that it's coming, and sometimes that's all you can do. All right, where are things headed here? Priorities and friendliness. So getting your priorities together by way of, if you are as you're moving forward in the relationship, keeping the highest level of, of whatever it is. You want to make sure that it has the highest regard of satisfaction for each person. Okay, so even if you're not in a relationship, you're keeping the idea of that person in mind when you're making decisions. You're not out making, these super, super single decisions, because ultimately you are kind of just holding out for somebody who's worth it, right? And if you're giving away, all of your time and effort and energy and money or whatever to all these other situations, that you're not really holding strong to the desire that you're waiting to come in. And that's a tricky position to be in, being able to discern accordingly some of those decision making. Otherwise, it comes down to just those conscientious decisions, knowing right from wrong, knowing what we ultimately, want in our life. It would look like this. We want to live our life reflecting that kind of a way. And, making some new friends, maybe making some new acquaintances. Maybe you're meeting somebody through friends. Maybe you're getting friends involved in the relationship in a way that, like, you guys are going on double dates, or going on doing, co-ed baseball or volleyball, or just hiking, or going out and having fun with couples, and just relating and getting on a different type of relation when it comes to, compared to what else is out there. There's nothing wrong with that. And so just keep that in mind. If it helps to have those other love-based connections around you, then do it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. The best way to communicate, what's the action to take here? Hibernate and regenerate. So if you have, so if for those of you who are putting that order out, you're sitting on that. You're maintaining, your consistency. You're just doing you right now, and you're letting that just kind of plant itself and create something and manifest itself into your reality when it's meant to. For others of you, if I did get this sense of maybe there's something that's come up in the, whatever, in this, in the reality, and you're not quite sure how it applies to things, but all you do know is that you want to give it a little bit of time to kind of see where things are going. So maybe there's somebody who doesn't have the best mentality, and you are not sure kind of what they're thinking right now, or perhaps you are trying to create some healthy boundaries, but they are a little distracted, or whatever it is. Just know, again, that nothing is set in stone, and that you want to give this person some time to just sort out whatever it is, and that things are going well, and they're going to resolve themselves, basically. So giving that space to that person is important. All right, and then how to maintain balance. Balance spirituality and practicality. And conclusions are within reach. So you're balancing the practical steps on how you're going to get what you desire. Whether it's bringing forth more of what you're wanting yourself so that the other person can match it. Maybe it's like I said, bringing in more of those connections to just kind of be able to relate to, or having just kind of some of those one-on-one conversations and being clear about it, whether it's one-on-one with your partner, one-on-one with the universe, whatever it might be. But I do see that the more you're upfront and open and communicative, then the better this will be for you. And you have some good luck on your side, so why not make the most of it at the moment, okay? So communicate and kind of speak your truth a little bit more. I think you've been holding it in, trying to kind of figure out the fine details, but now it's time to just kind of let those things out, all right? Hope that resonates. Let me know all the information on how to book your readings down below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good month. Much love.